An all too brief summary of the cities of the Six Sisters. By Marcus Fabius Quintus. Senzio, the city of gold. Just about 200 years ago, during the time of the first barbaric migration and the Gallan crisis, the Gnomish Blue Sky tribe crossed the Tora, and settled themselves on the bifurcation of the Pesa River. Once the imperial crisis was over, Emperor Tiberius Gallus led the reconquest of the territory, and the newly established settlement was made the new regional capital. After the dwarves' complete conquest of the high peaks, a tunnel system was discovered that connected Ygrath with Senzio. This subterranean network soon became mutually beneficial, as the dwarves sent shipment after shipment of gold, silver and gems to be sold at the markets of Senzio. Wealth flowed into the city, as did human and dwarf settlers. 100 years ago, with the collapse of the human empire under the weight of the dual invasions, human refugees flooded into Senzio. The city's numbers swelled, and today it is the largest city in the Ox Heart. Using her vast resources, Senzio has been able to remain unconquered by either Quilea or Cardoon. A Senzian saying sums up their strategy: peace is not purchased with the lives of men, but rather with gold and gems. Tregear, the city of ruins. First settled 300 years ago at the fords of the Tora and Sovio rivers, Tregear began as a fortified military outpost. The soldiers' families were the first inhabitants within the walls. Once the great temple to Adaon and the sanctuary of Maurian were built, Tregear became a stop for northern pilgrims on their way south. The Gallan crisis interrupted the pilgrim trails, and soon Tregear lost what little income she had. As the orcs invaded out of the dark forest and the flood of refugees poured across the fords, Tregear was overwhelmed. She was too small and poor to be able to accept these people. Senzio, with her size and her gold, came to the rescue. She paid Tregear to house refugees until Senzio was ready for them. In addition, Senzian gold bought orc mercenaries to defend Tregear from attacks by other orc tribes. Soon, the orc warriors brought their families and joined Tragian society, like the humans hundreds of years before. Today, Tregear is a tightly compact, dilapidated city where humans and orcs have learned to live in peace, in the shell of what remains. Chiara, the city of blood. Chiara is situated at the place where Adaon's blood fell to the earth, as his body plummeted toward the sea. It was here that humans were born from his blood. The main temple of the city was built around the large crystallized shard of the god's blood. Some families in Chiara claim to have never left this place since man's creation in the time before record. Chiara is situated in the fertile rolling hills of the central riverlands. She is the city to which all humans must visit at least once in their lifetime. She is also renowned for her marble quarries and exquisite cheese. Chiara is the only one amongst the Six Sisters that is all human. The people of Chiara consider themselves most pure and undefiled. Other races may visit, but they cannot stay. She employs a vast army of magic users, who occupy hill forts throughout the nearby countryside, protecting Chiara, Tregear and Senzio from Quilea. Service in her armies is considered the height of a person's life. It is said that to enter Chiara is to enter the beating heart of the divine, and that all humans find their true selves here. Corte, the city of wine. Situated on a hillside overlooking Lake Bhatia, Korte is the youngest of the 6 sisters. The region has been known for the production of ember wine since ancient times. However, it has only been in the past 100 years, since refugees from the southern hill country moved northward, that a major settlement was able to be established. Korte is a city of business and commerce. She is ruled by a monarch who is also the richest merchant. Every year, merchants have their wealth counted, and whomever is the richest takes their place as the new monarch for that year. The city has recently made peace with Chertando and Asoli, after an extensive war, and now has undisputed control of Lake Bhatia. While sparsely populated inside the city, there are many outer settlements of elves and dwarves who have come to conduct business. Courtians often say that while Senzio has diamonds and gold, it all flows downriver to Korte. Chertando. The city of empire? The city of Chertando is the ancient capital of the Empire of Man. Its first mentioning in any written work is over 1,000 years ago. Chertando lies at the mouth of the Sovio River, where it empties out into Lake Bhatia. The city is unlike any other in all the Oxheart, in that it all exists in one large fortification. Legend has it that the city was discovered like this, fully intact and ready for habitation. It seems unlikely to us of this era, but the ancients certainly believed it. It was once the largest city on the peninsula, and the wealthiest by far. Sadly, Chertando lives on, only in her prestige. Her recent defeat to Korte has impoverished the people, as what remained of the imperial wealth was stripped to pay off mercenaries. But pride in man vanishes slowly, and the people of Chertando look down on others, from the other 5 sisters or Astibar, perhaps especially Astibar as it has claimed the imperial title. To all travelers I must give this warning. Crime is rife in the city, and the authorities seem uninterested in doing anything about it. It is no longer the imperial seat which one might have expected it to be. Asoli by the sea. The city of ships. For much of imperial history, Asoli is never mentioned. When it is only in passing as a small fishing village. But by the present era, Asoli had become the major trading port other than Astibar. It is located on the coast where the Tora meets the sea. All trade to and from the western lands happens in Asoli. Merchants from Al-Rasan, Esperana and Ferriers make their way to the city by the sea. The city is renowned for its numerous naval vessels which are manned by criminals. Through service and victory, they earn their freedom, and even their wealth. Through wise rulers, Asoli has managed to pass its prosperity down to its people, who enjoy the most luxurious life in all the peninsula. Many pleasures are to be had in the city for visitors who wish to partake. While she was allied with Chertando during the Lake War against Korte, she was spared the brunt of the destruction and continues to prosper. The people and rulers of Asoli desire to one day take their place as the capital of a renewed empire of man.